Hi there. Thank you for joining me on the Passionative podcast, where we talk about following your passion, creativity, and doing what you love. This is your host Sagar Mehta, and before we begin, I want to invite you to let me know about your questions about following your passion, your struggles with the creative process, and anything else you want to share about going after your dream. Just go to Passionative.co and leave a comment or use the contact page to get in touch with me. The reason I'm asking you to do that before and not after the podcast like I usually do is because I want to talk about giving up. I almost gave up today. I almost did not make this episode. In fact, the thought about letting this week go by without an episode entered my mind. And to be brutally honest, I considered never picking up the podcast ever again. And that thought constantly occupied my head last week and even this week as well. It is so easy for something that you like to do to stop making sense real soon. If you're deriving pleasure and happiness from it, it is only a matter of time before the grind hits and what you like starts to look like boring work. Or just work, maybe. I kept running out of ideas. I kept running out of things to say. I kept thinking about all those other things I could do instead of creating this podcast. And I knew this would happen. Heck, I created a whole episode out of making sense of the grind. But trust me when I say this, it's too easy to fall back to your usual patterns. It's simply too easy. It's too easy to let go. It is too easy to raise your hands up in frustration and claim you don't know where this is going. It's too easy to think that you've said all you had to say and let your drive dry up. Crazy thing is, for something you love to do so much and that you love to talk about with people around you, you come up with all the excuses and reasons that you need to not do it when this happens. This dip comes up in everything you do. From a dreaded Monday to the lazy Sunday, there is a time of the day when you don't quite feel like doing what you are doing and start to miss other things, even though those things are not generally a source of joy. If you have missed working on something you like on a Wednesday during lunch or missed your job after a long weekend, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I decided to not let my demons win. When you do something you like, you need to remember that there are hard days and you need to be honest on those days with yourself and with people you care for. And that is exactly what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to be honest with myself and with you. I want you to know that I was about to give up and I didn't. My podcast is all about caring for you, the creative, the artist, the passionate. My hope is that my own journey inspires you to start your own. My belief is that given the right amount of drive and feedback, you can do what you love and keep at it. When you start, it is always hard. There is a lot of drive, excitement, and hope, but an utter lack of feedback. No matter what you do, the journey of the creative is a lonely one. It is a path you have to take on your own till people start to notice that something amazing is cooking. So, on this particular episode, I want to ask you to not give up, to stick with what you love, even if it is super hard right now, even if you don't know where it is headed, even if you think there are other things you could do better. I want you to remember why you started doing this, to remember why this was important in the first place, to remember how you might be leaving people high and dry, people who are looking forward to what you are creating, even if they don't know that it exists yet. To remember that this part where it looks like everything is meaningless and you are probably better off not doing this at all, is where the seeds of something amazing are being laid without you even knowing how. And that is why I invite you to share what you think with me. Sharing helps me understand what you are going through, and more importantly, it helps you understand how you can handle it. I'm not giving up on this podcast. I'm not giving up on me. I'm not giving up on you. we are not giving up on what we love to do. Thank you for joining me on this brief but important episode of the Passionative podcast. To talk with me, simply go to Passionative.co and leave a comment or use the contact page. I'm sure we can all learn a great deal from each other. This is your host Sagar Mehta. Stay awesome.